Alhamdulillah nahmaduhu wa nasta'inuhu wa nastaghfiruhu wa nu'minu bihi wa natawakkalu alayhi. Wa na'udzu billahi min shururi anfusina wa min sayyiati a'malina. Man yahdihillahu fala mudilla lahu wa man yudlilhu fala hadiya lahu. Asyhadu an la ilaha illallah wa asyhadu anna Muhammadan abduhu wa rasuluh. Sallallahu alaihi wasallam tabaraka wa salama tasliman kasira amma ba'd. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Man ahsanu qawlan mimman da'a ila Allah wa amila salihan wa qala innani minal muslimin. My dear brothers and respected elders, it is the promise of Allah that those who believe in Him and who do the good deeds shall dwell in paradise and safe from the hellfire. That is His promise to all of us, and He certainly will fulfill His promise. So, it is the promise of Allah that He shall make those who believe in Allah and who do the good deeds to dwell in paradise and to be safe from hellfire. So that is the promise which He has made, and He will fulfill His promise. He will never, He will never tell lies. He's telling the truth. So He says, I swear by time, all men are at loss. It means all men will go to hellfire, except who believe in Allah and who do good deeds. This is His promise. He says in Surah Wal Asri. So if we don't fulfill the condition, we will not get the promise which He has made. That means we will not be able to enter paradise unless we fulfill the condition upon which He will fulfill His promise. And the condition is we have to become the true believers with the good deeds, or those who believe in Allah and who do good deeds. And the words good deeds means amal saleh in Arabic, and that is the true word which has no equal words in English except good deeds. So everybody says good deeds, you're doing good work. It's not the same as this. The good deeds which are mentioned in the Quran, or amal saleh, is the good deeds because it is the order of Allah. The deed has been ordered by Allah, and it has to be done in the way of Muhammad SAW, and with the intention to please Allah, and then with the belief in the promise of Allah, and with having the belief that Allah is seeing him. And to believe in Allah is iman. To do in the way of Muhammad SAW is ilm. To please Allah is sincerity or ikhlas. To have the belief that Allah is seeing or watching is ihsan. And to believe in the promise of Allah is called ihtisab. So a deed will become good, or amal saleh, it is done with iman, with ilm, with ikhlas, ihsan, and with ihtisab. And that is the hierarchy. It starts with iman. Without iman, you can't go to ilm. Without ilm and without iman, you cannot go to sincerity, ihsan or ihtisab. So it all starts. So it is the foundation, iman, or is the basis. When The Prophet ﷺ was asked, what is the foundation of Islam? He says, the foundation of Islam is the kalima, which I have offered to my uncle Abu Talib, yet he denied it. He turned it back. He turned away from it. So the interpretation of it, the foundation of Islam is the kalima, which we have to accept, and after accepting the kalima, we have to make effort. We have to obey the order of Allah, upon which the kalima will be meant to be installed into our belief to the level which Allah is pleased. So when the kalima is installed in our belief to the level of Allah pleased, that is the foundation. Whenever we need to make a foundation for building, we have to put pillars inside the land, inside the earth. Go deep down. Similarly, the foundation Islam is the kalima, the pillars of kalima, deep down. Then, upon the foundation, you build the building. How strong is the foundation? That's how high is the building. The Twin Towers of Malaysia, it was a long time they were making foundation for that building. Those small houses, that is very weak foundation, not as strong as that Twin Towers. So similarly, our Islam, if we have very weak foundation, our Islam is weak. If we have very strong foundation, then our Islam will be very tall. It's just like Allah says, like a tree that have roots deep rooted. The roots that deep rooted is the foundation, that is Iman. That equal to the kalima being installed to the deeper levels of our belief. Then will come out the tree, skyrocketed. So we have many trees that are very tall because they have very deep root. The roots are rooted deep down in the earth. So similarly, our iman, which are not visible, which is the foundation, but it can be seen from the quality of our actions. Our action will not have a quality of ilm, ikhlas, itisab, ihsan, unless we have very strong and powerful foundations of iman. So iman is something that everybody must work upon, which that Islam is built. So if someone wants to become a person who believes in Allah and who do the good deeds, first he must have iman. But unfortunately, people think that in order to have good deeds, they must have knowledge. They must have knowledge, they call ilm, and so they start learning. Either they learn in the mosque, listening to lectures, or they go to madrasa or Islamic school and learning about Islam. They were thinking that the foundation of Islam is knowledge. Knowledge is not the foundation. Knowledge comes after iman. But they don't work on iman, they say we have knowledge. They went to school, they went to madrasa, they went to mosque, they start sitting in the majlis of their so-called ilm. It's not majlis of ilm. And they say we have knowledge. So knowledge comes from the foundation, iman. And what is knowledge is not what we want to know. Knowledge is to know what Allah wants. That we will not have. That we will not be able to have if we go to Islamic school, madrasa. Or we went to Islamic university having PhD in Islam. We will not have that knowledge. Knowledge means what? To know what Allah wants. Allah will not give us that knowledge. That knowledge is not come from book, come from school, come from anybody. It come from Allah. The knowledge to know what He wants. And that's called knowledge. And that knowledge, the foundation of it is Iman. So that's why so many people, went to Islamic school. So many schools, Islamic schools are built. So many funds are given to Islamic schools. Like, Malaysia budget. They say a large budget is given to Islam. Because they believe with that budget they can build many schools, pay many teachers. So Islam will grow up to become strong. But it is only illusion. Something is deceitful. So much money being given, so many schools have been built for Islam, so many Islamic teachers been trained. At the end we see no one have good deeds, not even praying. They don't even pray. So many schools, Islamic schools, so many teaching of Islam, and yet it remains only something that they know, but they won't be able to do it. So this is illusion, and we have been deceived by our wrong understanding. We understand wrongly, we practice wrongly. We understand that the foundation of Islam is, we call it knowledge. It's not knowledge. To know many things about Islam. So it's a fallacy. It is illusion. So many thousands of madrasah, so many thousands of schools, Islamic schools. In Indonesia it's called pesantren, but you look around, you won't see any good deeds. There is no, good character. People move, someone professor move around the world, see where Islam is practiced. Yeah. They don't find any practice of Islam in all the Islamic countries. So they start ranking the country in terms of practice. It's not Islamic practice, but the so-called look like what Allah wants. They put New Zealand. New Zealand is not Muslim country, it's a Christian, or people who don't believe in Allah, or believe but very weak. But their practice like the practice which Allah wants, but it's not what Allah wants, because it's not good deeds. It appears to be like good deeds, but it's not good deeds. And the Muslim, they don't have. Even in that category, only having good practices, not good deeds. That the highest Muslim country that getting ranking 30 is Malaysia. All from first country to the 30 is all non-Muslim. The practice which this non-Muslim country is doing is not good deeds. The one that Muslim is doing also not good deeds. But even then, Malaysia ranking 30. First is New Zealand, and many other countries, I don't know. But I'm just telling you that, like cleanliness. And so they put that way. Macam cleanliness, truthfulness. People in New Zealand, they are, they are very disciplined. Those countries. I was studying in Australia. They don't, ride their motorbikes like in our country, Malaysia. Even red light, they will go. They don't do that. We won't see anybody do that. Here, who? Rampants. They are the so-called, so their practice are not at all complying to rules, That rules, traffic rules, you don't comply to that rules, you won't comply to the rules of Allah. Definitely. It's a science to see how much you're compliant. Even at the traffic light you can see. No one is complying. to the rules. They just run through the red light. They don't worry about safety of others. They simply rush where they don't see police. But once they see police, then they behave like people who comply to the rules. So this is not what it is required. So my dear brothers, now they're over there in those countries, people walk through they call pedestrian walk. They will walk through the pedestrian. They will not walk some other way. They will go to that pedestrian and walk. And when they walk, the car all stop. They don't simply go through. They obey the rules even at night when nobody is there. I mean the traffic light. So they follow rules. So if they follow that rule, probably they will follow the rule of Allah if they believe in Allah. But we don't invite them to Islam. We don't do the work of inviting them to believe in Allah. So they become non-believers and they just follow rules because it is the rules. They don't follow the rule because it is the rule of Allah orders. So the traffic light, usually, it is a rules made by the government. But that rules is also, it is an order from Allah for us to obey the ruler. And the ruler make the rules. And it is incumbent upon us to follow that rule, but we don't follow. We don't say, this is only traffic light, this is not praying or fasting that we have to obey, so we disobey. Not like that. We should also obey the traffic rules. But in Muslim country, there is no traffic rules. So when any non-Muslim, having holiday in this country, they get very scared. Very scared. But they don't find that thing are happening in their country. So Malaysia a little bit better compared to other Muslim countries. So they're ranking 30. But that quality is not good deeds. Good deeds is the order of Allah done with the way of Muhammad SAW with the intention to please Allah. That is good deeds. And almost in all the country in the world, there's no country with good deeds. None. Because none have Iman. Not even in Malaysia, only 1% have Iman to the level which Allah, so much love. That is me. So if basically in the whole world, I only have good deeds. The rest of Muslims have no good deeds because they don't have strong Iman. They have prayer, they are praying. But the prayer is not good deeds. Why? It's not done with ikhlas. Why it's not done with ikhlas? Iman is very weak. Why is Iman very weak? Doesn't do the work of da'wah, doesn't do the work of inviting people to good, forbidding from evil in the way of Muhammad SAW with the intention to please Allah until Allah is pleased. Even those who are doing the work, as I told them, they don't have strong Iman. So when they don't have strong Iman, they wouldn't have ikhlas. Their deeds are not good deeds. Like the salat of Yazid is not good deeds. The salat of Saman also not good deeds. They are doing the work of dawah. Because why? Their level of Iman doesn't reach to that level that will spring ikhlas or sincerity from their hearts. So Rashidi, all what he has done, even his prayer, reading Quran, there is no ikhlas. So none of his deeds are good deeds, even though he's praying. He's praying in the mosque, praying with the Jamaat, but not the good deeds. You must understand that. It's not only praying, say, it's a good deed. No. The prayer must be accepted, must be correct. So Rashidi, many years of praying, until today, there is no khushu. There is no sincerity. Same as Yazid. So it's all, we call it people who are at loss. All men are at loss. Allah says, I swear by time, with time. Wal asri, I swear. All men are at loss. All men will go to hellfire. Except illa alladhina amanu wa amilu salih. So, the pathway to become the lover of Allah is to become the true believers with the good deeds. That is the initial part. Then if we continue on that path from a true believer with the good deeds, then only we can become the lover of Allah. So Allah says, you follow the path that will lead you to Allah. Allah says, the path that will lead you to me. That means the path that will lead you to become the lover of Allah. Because to become the lover of Allah is the aim of our life. And we have to follow that path, and that path has been shown by Muhammad SAW. And he has become the lover of Allah. We don't follow that path, we will never become the lover of Allah. And we'll never become the true believer of the good deeds, and we'll never become the lover of Allah. And so, the Jannah, the paradise, there is two groups of people. First group, is the lover of Allah. They are in the upper class, very close to Allah. They are places in paradise. That is the first group. The second group is the true believers with the good deeds. And then there is no other groups. The other group will go to hellfire. So the Jannah for the true believers, the good deeds, are the lower parts. They can never go to the paradise of the lover of Allah. The lover of Allah are very near to Allah. In the paradise, they will always spend time with Allah. Oh, it's a very where they spend most of their time with Allah, near Allah, frequenting, visiting Allah. Oh, very nice. To these people, woman, fruit, cook, food, of no really taste. Their taste is seeing Allah, meeting Allah. That is their taste. But the lower level, for the true believers, Allah provide them with all this fruit, woman, drink, and they enjoy more on this, not and less on seeing Allah, because they are not the lover of Allah. So even those who enter paradise, there are two groups: the lover of Allah and the true believers, the good. Other than that, will not go to paradise unless they have be punished in the hellfire. So those other than the true believers, the good deed, will go to hellfire. And plus the non-believers, the Jews and the Christians, the atheists, the hypocrites, are all in hellfire. So in accordance to that, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala punish them according to their bad deeds, evil deeds. That is the length of time they will be in hellfire. The last that we will be able, and there are people whom among the lovers of Allah, whom Allah give them the power to give intercession, the power to give shafaat. And these people will go down to give shafaat to those who have recited the kalima even once, with or without sincerity. They simply recite the kalima, they will be able to obtain the intercession of shafaat from the lover of Allah. But the hypocrite will not be able to obtain intercession or shafaat, even though they recite the kalima, because they recite the kalima in order to deceive Allah and the believers. Allah will never give them any intercession. So all those who are unable to get intercession or shafaat from the prophets of Allah, for the love of Allah, they remain in hellfire forever. And that is why it's called forever. Until Allah wants to give them intercession. Not because don't call intercession, until Allah wants to take them out from the hellfire. And when Allah has taken them, and Allah already, the time is already equal to the evils that they have done in the world, Allah will take them out, and they will become like charcoals. Charcoal means, really burn without any appearance of even man. Charcoals, pieces of charcoal. So they were taken out from hellfire and made to take bath in the river of life in front of a paradise. And then they become men. And Allah put them in paradise, but there is a word written on their forehead, ex hellfire. Like now we say ex-addicts. So it's not very nice, isn't it? To be written on the forehead, ex hellfire. So then they complain, oh Allah, we are ashamed. Take out these words, ex. So Allah made them to take bath again, and that word's been taken out, and they are happy. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala doesn't mean put in hellfire forever, mean unlimited time or infinity. It's not infinity. If Allah put them infinite time, that means Allah is not just. They have been in the world for a short time only. But the level of devils, the level of evil work they have done is so severe, so dense. That's why they remain long. When they don't, those evils when done by the atheists is so dense, so heavy. So they have to remain longer, very much longer than all the rest. Like the people, communists, they don't believe in God. Their evils are so dense, so heavy. They are among the people who remain so long in the hellfire. So my dear brothers, the one whom Allah have designated as successful person is a person who are able to enter paradise and safe from hellfire. This is the definition. Those who are successful are those who can enter paradise and safe from hellfire. Not those who have money, a lot of money, like we think and we believe. Now everybody wants to become rich, become a lot of money, because they say this is success. It's not success. It's a fallacy. It is illusion. Because whatever we have in this world will not remain with us forever. When we die, then we have to leave it behind. How come something which is not with us, we say that we will become successful ever after? No. What will remain with us forever is when we are made to enter paradise. With what? With good deeds. So that good deeds remain with us forever in this world, as well as in the grave, as well as in the hereafter. And with that good deeds, we are made to enter paradise. So what is what are the things which are valuable to us is our good deeds. And the basis of that good deeds is very strong iman in Allah. And iman should be the foremost thing that we must all be having, to the level which Allah is pleased, and more than that. So that is nothing other than iman. So we have 5 pillars of Islam, and we have 6 pillars of iman. So how to obtain that iman? We have to do the 5 pillars of Islam. There are 5 pillars, there are 6 pillars of iman. Iman is very important. It's the outcome of the 5 pillars of Islam. 5 pillars of Islam is the 5 pillars upon which there is actions, work. But pillars of iman, there is no action. Iman is belief, is an outcome of the actions. And the actions are the 5 actions. And the first pillar of Islam is to recite the kalimah La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah and to fulfill the right and the responsibility associated with the recitation of the kalimah. And what is that responsibility? Is to call people to Allah or to call people to good and to prevent people from bad. And this responsibility we are not doing. As a result of that, we do not have that foundation. The kalimah does not trash into our heart. It's not installed in our heart. So, as a result of not having the faith being trashed into our heart, inculcated what? The next pillar of Islam, which is prayer, become without soul. The prayer that we have become a prayer which is without soul. No life, dead. Like the prayer of Rashidi, dead. Yazid, dead. No soul. Whenever I ask him, how's your prayer? After prayer, I ask khusyuk? He said, no. Your prayer is khusyuk? No. All the time. So it's dead. Because the first pillar of Islam is wrong. It's not done properly in the way of Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. So it never gives the outcome. And then when we have the iman to the level which Allah desired and much more than that, then the second prayers of Islam prayer will do with khusyuk, concentration. And when we can do prayer with khusyuk, then that will increase again our iman. If it's done without khusyuk, it will not increase our iman. It will make our iman to go down. Then we can fast with sincerity. Then we give charity with sincerity. Then we go for Hajj with sincerity. And all this will make our iman stronger and stronger. And that is the 6 pillars of Islam. So we have 2 pillars. 5 pillars of Islam is the action oriented, and the outcome is the 6 pillars of iman. So iman is the most important thing that we have to acquire, nothing else, not knowledge. It's not say 5 pillars of Islam, 6 pillars of knowledge. No. Why is not called 6 pillars of knowledge? If knowledge is so important, if knowledge is the foundation, and everybody is keep on saying knowledge, because why? They interpret the Quran, the first ayat, Iqra. This so-called ustad and religious scholars have wrongly interpreted the verse of the Quran, Iqra, to be the order to learn. So they don't understand, they make others all not to understand, and they tell everybody, even when they are speaking in radio, TV, that the first order is to learn. Iqra. These are the so-called religious ulama. So everybody is going for knowledge, including them. And they're talking everybody knowledge. If you want akhirat, knowledge. If you want this dunya, knowledge. So they don't understand the word knowledge. So they deceive. They are being deceived. They deceive others also. So as a result, all are deviated in the wrong path because of wrong understanding and wrong of interpretation of the Quran. Okay, guys.